From included, yes included, helicopter and Zodiac rides, to a complimentary thermal suite and more, Quark Expeditions' latest Ultramarine is one heck of an expedition ship. Welcome to Popular Cruising. I am your host Jason Leppert, and this is our full deck-by-deck tour and review of the vessel before finishing with our concluding pros and cons. Starting low on Deck 2 and working our way on up is first the ship's Zodiac Embarkation area, included as already mentioned, which of course descends even farther to the waterline with a convenient loading and unloading platform at the stern. And just up the steps and inside from that is a vestibule, where travelers can wash off their boots after adventuring ashore. Following such outings, Zodiacs are hoisted out of the water and craned back inside of the ship. Here they are stacked and stored as a fleet, sheltered from the elements among kayaks until the next time. To also seek shelter on YouTube for all your cruise travel needs, we invite you to please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of all our latest videos. Just forward of the Zodiac and kayak storage bay is a pair of complimentary use-ready rooms, where guests can gear up before and down after expeditions off the ship. In between the two rooms is also a showcase of Quark's impressive expedition history in polar regions. Each guest is assigned to either ready room. Then on Deck 3 is Ultramarine's reception area, comprised of a vibrant seating corner, photojournal area for sharing images of your journey, and of course a neatly designed rugged reception desk for interacting with guest services. It's also the level for the first extra charge venue in the form of a polar boutique. For a relatively small ship, its retail store is impressively well stocked, with all sorts of additional gear you might need, or simply a souvenir to commemorate your trip. You name it, Ultramarine surely has it to buy. Skipping a stateroom level and heading up to Deck 5, first opens up to a corridor displaying all sorts of information boards pertaining to the expedition, including fauna identifiers, as well as flora ones. And just behind it is the included Ambassador's Theater, an attached extra cost, at least on our cruise bar. The lecture hall itself is a fine space for gathering to catch daily briefings, film screenings, and more. And a variety of seating options makes viewing it all quite easy. Interesting lectures extend to all kinds of regional topics, as well as local regulations to be aware of. And in particular, our comedic expedition leader Colin always made us laugh, as I appreciated each of his nerdy inclusions of fun pop culture references. Regarding the bar, inclusions have expanded since our sailing to free soft drinks, beer, standard wines and spirits, in addition to cocktails. One thing to point out from our cruise, unfortunately, were several instances of out-of-order equipment like Deck 5's filtered water filling station, which thankfully repeat in functioning fashion elsewhere throughout the ship. Meanwhile, Ultramarine's main dining room, the included Balena Restaurant, is located towards the very front of this level and wraps around a central galley to ensure all booths and tables, from the starboard side on, have a window view of the ship's stunning surroundings. A variety of 2 tops, 4 tops, and larger ones further make private or more social meals possible. The forwardmost section is especially lovely for serving as an observation lounge-style dining hall, and naturally seating continues onto the port side as well. Stretching from there to the center is a buffet setup for self-serve breakfasts, lunches, and some dinners. There's even an end cap counter where dairy and gluten-free alternatives are available. Otherwise, the main spread consists of bread, salads, and entrees, as well as featured side selections, ranging from a bizarre mix of Popeye-style chicken or elevated sushi, to desserts, and once even crepe Suzette, always a favorite of mine. Resulting breakfasts consist of standard fare like tasty bacon and eggs, and lunches of comfort foods such as cheeseburgers, bratwursts, and french fries, or other yummy sandwiches and Mediterranean-style sides. Full-service dinners are more gourmet by comparison, but also mixed. Bread service was a highlight on our sailing, as every baked good was truly exceptional, whether rolls or focaccia. Appetizers mostly impress too, with delicious smoked salmon carpaccio being a fine example. However, weirdly on our voyage, lettuce was inexplicably absent, resulting in a Cobb salad of just toppings, not unlike a similar predicament once experienced by the Muppets.
There is a menu correction, okay? We will now be serving bologna sandwiches. But no bread.
Entree-wise, wild mushroom and white truffle risotto was surprisingly just okay, with flavor profiles significantly improving only for the showcased welcome and farewell dinners that first offered an Angus beef fillet and later a lobster tail thermidor. And along with the bread, the desserts were also outstanding on our cruise, bookending mostly lackluster meals with outstanding treats from the expert pastry chef. But on an expedition cruise, the main focus is really everything beyond the ship, and a full wraparound promenade deck just outside the restaurant is consistently excellent for taking in the passing scenery from every direction. When you're ready to book your own Quark Expedition cruise, we recommend doing so through our sponsor, Fairy Godmother Travel, who will magically take care of all your trip planning absolutely for free. To get your complimentary quote, just click the link right here, or follow the website, phone number, or email address below. Rising to Deck 6 is where we personally enjoyed our 226 square foot balcony suite, a lengthy example of lovely private accommodations, furnished with teddy bear approved plush bedding, and thankfully an electrical outlet, albeit European style, and a USB charging port for both sides of the bed. A spacious living area further consists of a sofa and coffee table, as well as mini fridge-equipped vanity desk with the first of the cabin's storage of shelving and drawers. And even more in the way of USB charging, below the TV and its complementary on-demand programming, plus more European outlets. Beyond that, of course, is an attached private balcony to enjoy outdoor vistas, as only the dramatic Arctic can deliver while navigating through ice floes. The only negative is that permitted smoking amidship below lets secondhand fumes drift right up to these otherwise great central balconies. And as our Muppet friends once again remind us,
Smoking is very bad for you, okay?
But back inside with the door closed to the smoke, the suite's handsome design is on full display, extending to a branded wood panel marvelously chock full of handy hooks. And on the opposite side of the entry hall are two closets, along with even more pull-out drawers, a hanging section, and open shelves. The same is mirrored again, but already partially filled by flight suits required for helicopter rides, in addition to a bonus safe and other preoccupied shelves for emergency life vests. There are also nice heated floor controls for the bathroom, which has a very high threshold to step into, but contemporary design once inside. Altogether outfitted with loads of storage, additional hooks, a towel rack, a well-spaced toilet compartment, and even more drawers. A sizable shower is particularly welcome, complete with a bench, stylish back wall, and only pump shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. Those who prefer bar soap must bring their own to place on the shelf below, not only a handheld shower head, but also a Sublime Rain one as well. And to finish off, there are even more hooks to round out the impressive bathroom amenities. Also on Deck 6 is the ship's navigation bridge, and it is one of a rare variety open to passengers to visit when safe to do so, usually when not navigating tricky passages. This unique opportunity is always a treat. Heading up again to Deck 7, an additional forward deck is open to sightseers, birdwatchers, photographers, and anyone with binoculars or a focused eye on the destination and its wildlife. In fact, it was here that we spotted muskox on a coastal cliff face, looking not unlike real-life bantha from Star Wars, to add my own nerdy reference. And even more exciting, to me at least, was seeing my first ever polar bear in the wild on day one of our cruise, and not just one but two on the ice floating straight ahead of our bow. Although just beyond the limits of my optical zoom lens, punching in digitally showcases this magnificent creature and its graceful movements before coming to a rest. Or for even more optical reach, high-power monoculars are available to scope out animals from the Panorama Lounge and Bar. The watering hole cost extra on our cruise, but is becoming more inclusive in the future. Still, the focal point of this venue is the lounge itself, beyond wooden slats, opening up to cozy banquettes, sofas, and chairs. And additionally, the ship's secured secondary bridge controls, which double as neat displays of the navigation process. In the back opposite the bar is a requisite included coffee and hot chocolate maker, in addition to other complimentary snacks throughout the day and at tea time, among aforementioned reading banquettes, or even more USB charging ports and outlets. And at the port side corner is the ship's well-stocked library, with books about the polar regions and more. Other volumes are handsomely on display, as are artifacts of cultural interest, but it's really the large stretch of seating that draws most to this great shipboard space. It also marks the vessel's route and position on a chart, and finishes off with a starboard gaming corner. But again, it's those great forward-facing vistas that most stand out here. Towards the back of the ship on this level is also the Tundra Spa and Sauna, which is both included and extra. Beyond the soothing entrance and lobby are lockers to use. As well as the venue's complimentary thermal suite, consisting of padded loungers with great window views and a steam room. And past the loungers is one of the most inviting dry saunas on an expedition ship. Thanks not only to its therapeutic qualities, but also expansive picture windows, overlooking the breathtaking surroundings. Really, the only things that cost extra here are body treatments like massages that are performed in one of 2 private side rooms for even greater rest and relaxation. Also on Deck 7 is the included fitness center, which shares the same wonderful views, but also more of the ship's out-of-service equipment, at least on our cruise. Otherwise, a basic putting green is available in addition to weights, a functioning water station, and most equipment still in working order. There's also an adjacent studio. Unmarked on the deck plan, the space is mostly used for staging passengers before they head upstairs and board the helicopters, as we'll soon see. And just outside from that is an aft deck for additional viewing real estate or al fresco dining off the bistro. However, this sliding door between the two was off limits to passage, so also likely broken. Nonetheless, Bistro 487 is one very cool dining venue that is named after the ship's hull number, and altogether celebrates its construction. It also has its own bar for serving drinks, as patrons enjoy awesome imagery of the vessel being built at the Brodosplit shipyard in Croatia. A long stretch of tables then extends to the back, where a secondary included buffet is available for breakfast and lunch, serving mostly the same as what is available downstairs. But what is really the best of dining on board is the specialty Tundra to table experience. The extra cost option is absolutely worth it for the chance to have the meal personally introduced by talented local chefs utilizing regional ingredients. If anything, the experience puts the rest of the ship's cuisine somewhat to shame as a stark contrast, starting with ruggedly presented rustic bread and butter service, succulent prawns and snow crab, atop a piece of glacial ice no less, and a unique juniper-cured redfish presented on stone. The set menu also offered a choice of entrees like the delicious baked cod I enjoyed, or the even bolder flavor profile of lamb that my friend opted for. And this sweet dessert, which I won't even attempt to pronounce, was a sort of local donut, with a refreshing side parfait and granita. It was truly some of the best fine dining at sea, perfectly concluded with a fascinating Q&A with the chefs. And last but certainly not least on Deck 8 are the ship's 2 helipads. It's already very rare to board a ship with shoppers, but particularly ones available to all guests for free. And it sure is quite the opportunity to take off right from on board, as is first introduced to passengers in the theater below. When it's time for your brief 20-minute or so flight, a Top Gun-esque operation is in full swing to get you airborne, as we experienced in the remote Canadian Arctic of all places. Once we took off, a whole series of new perspectives opened up above Ultramarine and towards a dramatic landscape of rocky mountains and icy snowcaps. There's really no better way to view the sheer expanse of a glacier than up in the sky, where snow powders the topography in some of the most beautiful ways. And the ship's 2 twin-engine Airbus H-145 helicopters are quite spacious to give plenty of elbow room to comfortably capture it all. Following our shadow from high above, we even experienced a bit of a trench run a la Star Wars once more, and boy was it a thrill. And upon our return to the ship, we had one last look at the glacier as we speedily skirted its face. We also got another great view of Ultramarine prior to our final descent. Truly, this amazing chance alone is worth booking Quark Expeditions for. Speaking of the Canadian Arctic, it was there that all of our trip's expeditions took place, round trip from Resolute, where we took a charter flight to and from, to initially board Ultramarine as we first saw from above. A set of mysterious abandoned buildings greeted us just beyond the airport before this most eclectic school bus took us to our first Zodiac ride to the ship itself. And then our excursions really began in earnest, starting at Prince Leopold Island. After the expedition team scouted out the area, it was our turn to hop in a Zodiac and head towards the shore. That was teeming with birds, yes, but also populated by yet another impressive polar bear that was ever so close to easily see with just our naked eye. And what an experience it was to have now seen 3 in the wild. In Nunavut, we ventured ashore as Ultramarine stood sentry in the distance. The rugged quality of the Arctic was immediately apparent at the icy and rocky beach, where traces of life still held on, and the tranquil solitude of the place really stood out for being both beautifully desolate and eerily quiet. More populous by comparison was Arctic Bay. Here residents live year-round, receiving regular deliveries of supplies, in a rather industrial-looking town that is still complete with a small grocery store/general store. We enjoyed a cultural showcase of the native people, including its adorable children, and older members that danced and sang for us, and shared with us their story in words and movements. But before long, it was time to move on at golden hour, when the amber sun brightly lit cliff faces, waterfalls, and even a small boat for scale. It was in Croker Bay that we took our helicopter ride in the morning, and another Zodiac one in the afternoon, for a juxtaposed waterline perspective. Our expedition guide played with glacial ice and taught us a thing or two about its history. And then we jetted off and photographed even more of the magnificent seascape. Much of it looked very alien in its appearance, and perhaps structurally untenable. But alas, the glacier would not calve for us this time. Still, the wildlife did put on a show. That is before it was our turn to take the polar plunge in the same super chilly waters, as my friend bravely demonstrated in slow motion, before very quickly hopping out. Now to conclude with our final pros and cons. What we disliked as pains in the aft are multiples of out-of-order onboard equipment, the central smoking location that pollutes midship balconies, and a baseline of somewhat lackluster dining. But what we most liked and can take a bow are the sole specialty dining option of the exceptional tundra-to-table experience, the fact that most expeditions off the ship are complimentary, including helicopter flight seeing, and Quark's overall impressive expertise in polar regions. Thanks so much for watching. If you would, as it really does help support us, please like this video with a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel while hitting that bell icon to be notified of new videos, watch our other ones, and visit popularcruising.com,